Today we're doing a little maintenance, routine oil change on Marcus. He hit the 300,000 mile mark. I would be going through and doing a full 300,000 mile checkup. I know a lot of things have already been replaced and exchanged, like I've mentioned before, suspension brakes. We're going to look at that, make sure we're not having any issues. All that was done around 240,000 miles. Obviously, it'll check in and make sure we're not having any issues. There's always that balance of replacing something for peace of mind versus wasting money on replacing something if it's not needing replacing. And figure that out for yourself. Everybody has their own things. I'm a little gun shy on wheel bearings after a bad instance, so if there's the slightest grind, anything, I typically change wheel bearings just so I have the peace of mind that I know that that's not going to be a thing. When you have your wheel and tire shear off and shoot off down the road and you eat the ditch because you ignored that grinding, horrible metal sound, you tend to pay attention after that. So, a few things I want to touch on. It was given to me a long time ago by my brother of changing the oil on the 5s, tires on the 10s. That doesn't have to be exactly on the 5,000, 10,000, 15,000, but wherever that falls for you, especially if you're buying a used car, do the every 5,000 miles, hit it. And then the debate of which oil, which filter, all of those things, man, that's as much as what's the right coffee. My preference is Valvoline. I don't know if y'all seen, but they've started selling like a 3-gallon. It's a little more cost effective. So you can get those at Walmart and stuff, especially if you know it's something that you're routinely going to be changing. I like Valvoline. Other people may like other things. Cool, whatever works for you. And I like wicks, air filters, oil filters, all that. Not a fan of Fram. You can watch some videos that are out there of filter comparisons, what works, what doesn't. I'd already used wicks anyway, just from growing up, and people tell me to use it. And then I actually watched some of those videos, different viewpoints, third-party objective of what filter works, and I like the Wix stuff. Today I'm using a Wix XP. Let me grab it for you real quick. So for Marcus, it has a 2.5 4-cylinder. I'm using the Wix 5735X. I do not usually get the XP. This is like for running synthetic oils and all that kind of stuff. I do not. This is the size that works though, and I get the straight regular Wix one. They didn't have that in stock at O'Reilly's, so they sold the fancier filter to me for the regular price because they didn't have the one in stock like they were supposed to. So, win. Fancy oil filter, that's got to get you like 3 horsepower, right? Okay, so oil on the 5s, tires on the 10s. Every 10,000 miles, rotate those tires, or every other oil change. Very easy to keep up with. Another thing I wanted to talk to you about as far as maintenance goes, again, this came to me from my brother, is get you a car log. I don't care what it looks like, how you do it. This one is Marcus's. Little fat notebook. That's it. Everything that has ever been done to Marcus, every tire rotation, oil change, if I wanted to check gas mileage every time a engine light came on, anything gets logged. And that is super handy if you have a reoccurring problem or you're curious about your tires. You're like, man, didn't I just get these tires on there? Oh no, I've gotten 60,000 miles out of a 45,000 mile tire. Cool, go me, because I got my rotations on the 10s. So it's just handy to have you a little log. It doesn't matter what it is, don't get fixated on that. You can have some notes for yourself on the back of if you're looking up parts, stuff like that. I've even got notes in here of how to do some repairs that I was doing at the time, I think with the suspension, things I would need that I didn't have. At the time, I'm pretty sure I had to wait till payday just to get this book. But it's super handy. You have a resource to go back on. My first page is the vehicle breakdown with the VIN, and then everything that I could need in there. what my oil filter size is, my air filter, my cabin air filter, what my tag number is, all those things, all of your vehicle data right there, good to go. If you throw a pen in there with it, you've always got a piece of paper and a pen. If you need to jot down a note or something kept in your car, this stays in the center console of Marcus. Make sure the pen you get isn't a super crappy pen, so it explodes in the heat. Haven't had that happen, thank goodness. This is, but something worth noting. This is the one I keep in Jack. It's a little fancier. I keep the same one in my wife's car. You can see right here, the Moron. It's a Murano. It's the Moron. It just kind of works. Got my insurance verification right there. Keeps that handy if there is a receipt. I don't typically keep receipts. This one is for a battery that I had to buy for Jack. That one just stays in there just because I have space for it. If not, it goes in a folder in receipts and stuff and like that in the house. Again, front page, VIN, all the things I need, what oil weight, what oil filter, anything I've done. Right here was the front wheel bearings and hubs. It's all recorded. That way I have an idea of when I did it. I like to, it flip-flops, but I typically put the date there and the mileage on the vehicle, because vehicles really don't care about what the date was, more so than the mileage. Everything that's been done, even including up to the last stuff, just with the, I hate to say mods, but throwing stickers on the truck, smoking the headlights and the tail lights, running the stripes down the top, all that kind of stuff, just so I can keep an idea of if that stuff starts to peel, if I start to have issues for it, man, how that stuff didn't last very long, or no, maybe it didn't, even less than what I thought, or even more. But just keep a log of your stuff so you can keep track of it. Super handy. Oil on the 5s, tires on the 10s. It'll help you out. And again, doesn't matter. Go. I don't want to say it doesn't matter, but if you're doing a Super Tech oil from Walmart with a Super Tech filter, but you're changing it every 5,000 miles, cool, good for you. That's probably more important than which one it is, but you're not changing it often enough and keeping a good running engine. So everybody's got their own take on it. Do what works for you within reason, and then pick from there. Again, I like Valvoline. It's never steered me wrong. Now my wife, her vehicle, she started with synthetic and has always ran synthetic. So I do that one every 10,000 miles. So of course on that, do a tire rotation with every oil change because it's 10,000 miles. But just since she had always ran synthetic, since she got the car, I've always just continued running synthetic. I didn't want to do a big shift or a big change after that's what it's used to. Not that the engine knows, but the engine kind of knows with all the sensors and stuff we have these days. So that's what I got for you. I'm gonna go through, change the oil on Marcus, check the tires, lube the doors, all that kind of stuff. Again, on lubricating doors, everybody has their own opinion on that. WD-40, not WD-40. It needs to be silicone. It needs to be white lithium grease. Do something. Something's better than nothing. I'll probably end up doing WD-40 because that's what I have available here in the garage. I prefer silicone. If I've got some, I'll use that. If you got something to be greased, grease it. It needs it. Slather that stuff up. It's hard to go wrong with grease, lubrication, oil. Keep everything happy, okay? Let's get to it. Hey, one last thing I forgot about. Also with every oil change, I do gum out, complete fuel system cleaner. There's high mileage one, there's all different versions of these. You might be a Lucas fan or STP. I like gum out. Don't really have anything to base that off of. Quick lube place that I worked at in high school, that was the brand they used to clean stuff out. I liked it. Is it a placebo effect? Maybe so. But again, it's $6-7 to have that peace of mind that at least every 5,000 miles, everything's getting flushed out. So run it till almost empty. Pour 6 ounces of that in your fuel tank and then fill it up. I don't have anything to judge it against or show you this is why it works or it doesn't work. Could be a complete waste of money. I don't know. but I don't have fuel issues. So Marcus's 300,000 miles, again, only 60 to 70,000 miles of those are mine, but we're not having issues right now. So cool, keep that going. Got the drain pan under Marcus. I don't have it draining yet. Just wanted to go over. It looks like a Altima with about 300,000 miles. Nothing fancy, nothing extra. Just doing the job it's meant to do. Did want to show you, I've got it written somewhere. Oh, it's fading out on me. Right there. So 4.5 quarts, 4.5, 14 millimeter plug. Easy, great reference. Just make it easier on yourselves. No point in having to rediscover every time you're doing something. We'll check the oil first, make sure we're not burning or using oil, and then get to drain and get this changed. Changing the oil on these, if you can work on a lawnmower, you can pretty much work on these. The 14 millimeter plug and the filter on the bottom, get that off, get it all drained out. Pour 4.5 quarts right there, and you're good to go. Not going to get explicit with it. All right, a few fun facts. Typically I pull Marcus right up here on the lip of the garage so I get the offset and I can just slide that under there. Sitting out there, I needed some more clearance, so I got it jacked up just a little bit, like just a shorter drip pan, I'd be fine. But notice we're about 3/4 to a quarter, or I'm sorry, 3/4 to a full quart low on oil before I get to that. So I didn't lie to you. I did want WD-40, but I had silicone WD-40 brand. So water displacement 40. Most of you are like, yeah, everyone knows. You'd be surprised. All right, so let's look at this, because this is not what I wanted. Let's see if the camera can adjust. All kinds. Looks like fresh oil kind of splatter. The filter was on there super tight. Not sure what the dealio is. I mean, I hope it was from the filter, not something else. Like coming from the oil pan sealing there. Don't know. Hasn't thrown any fits or acted like it was starved for oil or even really shown low. But, so I got all hinges and latches. I think that's just as important as getting your hinges. Got the latches sprayed with silicone. So I get this button back up, check all my fluids, make sure everything's good to go. I do realize how much gunk is on all this, guys. Thanks for looking out for me. We get all the fluids topped off. Make sure everything's within range. If not, we'll make notation of it, add to it. Record that in the auto log, like I previously mentioned. And then I'll be checking tire pressure, make sure those look good. And I'll be going shortly. I think the next chance I'll get to is probably Friday or Saturday to go get the tires rotated. So there we go. Noise. Alright. So I was over by 329 miles. Not terrible. Let's see how we're looking. Alright, check tire pressure. We're at 32 PSI all around. Looks good, all fluids are good except for windshield washer fluid. Added a little there. Everything else sounds good. Did put some PB blaster on my AC clutch, which doesn't like to engage. Don't know if that was wrong or right. My switch to turn the AC on is get a little pry bar and give it a whack, and then the AC clutch goes. Got a little belt chirping going, maybe from that. Otherwise, looks great. Thank you guys. Appreciate y'all. Be safe.